Well, my FF14 Stormblood adventure is very well underway as I've made quite a bit of progress, and I have to say the pacing of this expansion is all over the place. So many places, it just loses me. Welcome back, Classic Crew, to another Final Fantasy XIV journal. This is a continuation of all of my progress through FF14, now well underway into Stormblood. If you want to see my thoughts on A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, you can check out those videos. But now we're right in the beginning phases of Stormblood, and I don't really have a pledge or anything. I kind of want to go fight Omega so I can go fight him in Monster Hunter Wilds. And so now I've made it to the point where I've got a few things to cover. I've got the story all the way up to the Azim Steppe, which is where I'm at in the story, so I've covered quite a bit of ground. I've also gone back into Heavensward and done a little bit of side content I had missed, including a little bit of Hildibrand and a lot of the whole Alexander raid. So that's all done. So I'm going to share my thoughts on that later, as well as a little bit of side quests I took on myself when it came to minions. But let's talk Stormblood and its pacing issues, because I really notice how it gets good and then it stops being good, and then it gets good and then it stops being good. I'm like, what is the problem with this? And as I was streaming, like, a lot of people were saying, yeah, what you're experiencing is what a lot of us agree. It only gets better in the next expansion, which is, I don't know at this point, but FF14 is the constant tease of it gets better, keep playing. I'm like, okay, but you know what? There are some highlights. So I really hope if the next two expansions are really what they are made up to be, I really am looking forward to that. So let's break it down, talk about Gear Abanya, which is, you know, we've just had the end of Heavensward, where you've pretty much got the fight with the Omega, the Primal, everything went crazy. And then we're heading to the east side of the main continent to try to rally some allies and see how we can pretty much push the Empire back. That was kind of the precursor story to this. And at the beginning it was fun. Like, the first mission against the Empire is like, oh, you gotta like jump a Magitech armor, which I covered in my last journal. And that was good. But after that, that's where the first lull happens. It's like, oh, now you have to rally all of these allies, which, you know, it's a good part of the story. But the actual grind of like, okay, who needs help? You need help. Okay, what do you want me to help you with? I gotta go help who in the what tower now? And you're just kind of doing all these fetch quests to win over these people that you want to win over, which, like, story-wise, it makes sense and it leads to a decent payoff. But I'm like, could there have been a better way to do this? The answer is yes, because they do it as in like the next chapter of Stormblood. So that whole like first part of just winning over allies in that area was really pretty much boring for me. It got interesting when I thought we were going to ambush the Empire and attack one of their bases, only for the Empire to pull a whole Uno reverse, and Zenos shows up and he just destroys all of us, which I was not expecting that. And it kind of, right away, I was like, why doesn't he just kill me? I'm the Warrior of Light. And everyone was like quick to defend Zenos boy here of, oh, it's part of his character. He only cares about a challenge. He doesn't actually care about killing people. But I'm like, Exhibit A, he kills everyone. So a little bit of a plot hole, if you ask me, of why he didn't kill the Warrior of Light and all the Scions when he could. You're telling me he's pulling a Vegeta and he's like, I want to see how strong he gets. I don't even know if Vegeta does that. I wasn't really buying it, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to put my own beliefs on hold. Let's see how Zenos plays out. He's a pretty badass villain. His whole holster thing is a little over the top, but I kind of like it. How he's got like basically a machine gun of sheaths for swords. So he's like, oh, what am I going to kill you with today? And he just picks a random sword. I mean, I've never seen that ever. So I give it points for creativity. It's a little silly though. So this whole thing really sets us up for like, I'm okay like having a good, nice loss in my story, because that sets us up for like the desire for revenge. It happened in A Realm Reborn. I'm like, okay, I'm down with this. Let's take our loss at the beginning. What's next? And then Alphino's like comes up with a pretty good strategy. He's like, hey, why don't we like go to the east, where this boy and the Empire have already invaded and taken over the land like 20 plus years ago, the land of Doma, and let's open up the war on two fronts to distract. I'm like, that's smart. That's smart, Alpha. Good job. Let's do that. And so the story, the party, we head off east, which I'm like, yes, this is what this expansion is about. Let's get some samurai stuff going. And off we go to Kugane, but before we get there, we get ambushed by some sirens, which is very thematically appropriate. And we go into our first dungeon, the siren song. What does that say? The siren song Scar. I can't even read my own writing. This dungeon was fun. I liked the design of the bosses, but And thematically, I just like that we got interrupted by this. Outside of that, I don't have much more to say about that dungeon. Arriving in Kugane, my first reaction was just love the city, love the music. And this is a consistent theme I'm going to keep saying throughout Stormblood. Just the music. I keep going, oh, that music's so good everywhere I go. And the vistas, like the scenery is really beautiful. So I'm going to be repetitive with those, but it's worth saying because they're really nice. I love it. This is another lull. So we got a bit of a high with the loss of Zenos and what's going on. We get to Kugane. It's a bit more of a lull, which I get. We got to set up. We got to go meet people. We got to figure out who's who, what's what. So this was also a little bit boring. You know, we meet Gosetsu, which is fun. That's exciting. We meet Gyoto, this like catfish character, which I love that Lise gave him a good kick when he betrayed us. Very well earned. Did not like the stealth area where you have to like run around Kugane and avoid the guards. I just don't like stealth games. Like that's a me thing. It's not me criticizing the game. I just don't like stealth. And why is stealth in FF14 now? It shouldn't be there. Just get rid of it. So that was a lull, but it followed up with a high with the Confederacy subplot. Really loved the Confederacy subplot. So you've got these pirates that are like charging anybody who wants to cross the Ruby Sea. I think that's what it's called. And we're like, you guys are cool. Why don't we fight together against the Empire? And they're like, nah, we don't want to like disturb things. So convincing these boys was just so much more engaging, which is why I say the way they did it in the earlier part of Stormblood in Gear Abanya of like winning over allies was boring there, and here we got to do the same thing. And the whole subplot of like doing a bet with the Confederacy of like, if we can get rid of like the red Ninja Turtles, will you like help us? And I'm like, yeah, we don't like the red Ninja Turtles. So we go see the blue Ninja Turtles, and then we get introduced to underwater diving, which is really cool. Also really like that aspect of it. We also meet, is this where we meet her? No, we don't meet her yet. Oh, we do meet a new villain, Lady Yotsuyu. There we go. Lady Yotsuyu. Really love her character. She's a villain. She's a villain. She steps on people. Anyways, we go see the blue Ninja Turtles. We learn how to upset and fight the red Ninja Turtles who are allied with the Empire. We beat up the red Ninja Turtles god, who is Susanoo, and I'm like, why is that name so familiar? And I remember Sasuke has a Susanoo ninja in Naruto. He's his aura, his Susanoo aura, which I also learned later on is also a mythical character in Japanese folklore. So cool boss, cool primal. Defeated Susanoo, defeated the red Ninja Turtles. And the Confederacy is like, all right, cool, we're part of your uprising, and we got rid of the Empire, making Lady Yotsu very unhappy with us. So we have one more on the villain board against us. So from there, I think we got into a bit more of a lull. We went to the next little territory, which is Yansia. Again, you guys know my pronunciation is always terrible. And I actually like this plot, how we're, encountering people who have lost complete hope, who have been oppressed by the Empire for decades. They don't even like dream of rising up because they just know that they're either too weak or like they're gonna suffer or someone else is gonna suffer. So I really like that story of like, we have to find inspiration, we have to bring back hope to them, and we did, and we got them to like believe in themselves again, and they're like, we're ready, we just need like a leader to like really rally us, and that leader is Lord Hien, which would become the next subplot that we have to go for. So this was all good. Zenos is back in the region, so it's really building up tension. Yugiri or Yugiri, I don't know. I heard it pronounced. I don't know if I'm remembering how to pronounce, but it's not Yugiri. It's like Yugiri or something like that. Happy to see her back. I don't know. I threw some shade at her a few journals ago. I take that back. I shouldn't have done that. A little pause in our story to go back and remind us that Estinian is up to some questing, looking for, I don't know if I'm supposed to know this, but I know that he was looking for the eyes of Endog. That felt out of nowhere for where I'm at in the story. It was good to reconnect with that character. I don't know why we needed to see that now, because he's really not part of the story right now. I assume this is going to come back to something, but it was very weird of like, hey, don't forget this character. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not going to forget, because I totally did forget that character. Off to the Azim Steppe, which is, I haven't finished the sub quest here, but oh my goodness, I am so bothered and annoyed with the Azim Steppe, because right away I find Lord Hien, and he's all like, yeah, let's do it. Let's rally against the Empire. My people are down. Let's do it. And we're all like, good. Okay, let's go back. He's like, but first, I need to do this trial. And I'm like, oh, okay, let's do the trial. And he's like, but first we have to do this other trial, which I think is called Bardam's Medal. And then after you do that, then these, what are they called? The Shayla tribes. One of them is like, oh, now you got to do all these other side quests for us. This make busy work. At one point, one of us literally has to go milk a goat. I'm like, we don't got time to milk goats. We got to go fight an empire. Like, oh, I know this is all going to pay of like, oh yeah, that was a good like goat milker. We're totally going to like ally, be together. We bonded, but it's just like the pacing, we were doing this and then it hurts. It hurts. We just run into a wall just as things were getting good. Another very fun community event happened here, and I'm still flustered that this even happened. So one of our community moderators, Umel, has been scheming this most anticlimactic event for 2 years, where he, as an individual, loves the Shayla tribes, specifically the mole and that whole land, the whole music, the whole like part of Stormblood. He built his whole character to be like, even as his character name is Yule Mole, and his whole character is built around like living there. And as I made it to the mole tribe, there's this NPC, I thought it was an NPC standing there, and he sends me a friend request. I was like, who's this? Who's Yule Mall sending me a friend request? And he's like, oh, hey Jay, it's me, Umel. You finally you've come to my home. I was like, what the heck? I've been playing with Umel for the last 2 years. He's been in my raids. He's been helping me here and there with a different character. And it turns out that when I decided to start FF14, this mod created a side character to help me in my journey and avoid having me meet his main character, Yule Mall, who I've now met 2 years later. I don't know why he did it, but he did it. And this whole time, he's been cameoing in my streams, walking in front of the camera in the background as his main character, never letting me know who that was. And a few other members of the community knew it, and he just reveals it so casually of like, aha, it's me. And I'm just like, I respect that commitment so much. Like, who has the patience to hold that secret for 2 years? And I never, even at that point, I never said I was going to play up to Stormblood. I had only committed up to Heaven's Ward. So, like, he was just that sure that I was going to make it there. So anyways, here we are 2 years later. Plot revealed. I don't know what other lore my community's hiding from me, but man, what a dedicated bunch. Like, just shout out to Umel and whoever else was in on it. Like, you guys are crazy. And that's it. That's where I'm at in Stormblood. I'm still freaking milking goats and doing my trials to prove myself so I can take on the other trial, so I can finally go back and start uniting people so we can take over the Empire. That's the MSQ, and that is why I think Stormblood has poor pacing. Now for the bonus content. So as I said, my last journal was all about me discovering Hildibrand, which is a quest line I absolutely love. I covered all of A Realm Reborn's quest line there. Here I've started dabbling. I'm not going to do it all at once, but I started dabbling in the Heaven's Ward Hildibrand quest. And so last time our boy Hildi was launched into the air with a sword, and he fell into the region of Ishgard. So here we've now met a new detective, so a new character of the storyline named Seer, and we had to go find Hildi in the snow. And at this point, we've got Godbert that's kind of leading the way, and I just love that in every scene that we're seeing Godbert, he's just slowly less and less clothed. Even though we're going more and more into the snow, he's just like, I don't need this coat, I don't need this jacket. And of course, he strips down to his underwear, as Godbert does. The whole plot line that I've made so far is we've uncovered Hildi, who was holding a mammoth, I think they call it, or aka a little black mage, which I was going to dub Vivi until I learned his name is Gigi. And so now Hildi has imprinted on this poor little Gigi that he is his father. And it's just wonderful storytelling. I just love it. Gigi, like, kind of wants to be a real boy, loves Hildibrand as his father. Nashu doesn't even acknowledge, like, is convinced that Gigi's a girl. Hildibrand's convinced it's a boy. Who knows, and who cares what the gender of Gigi is. Just crazy antics. I wanted to keep playing the Hildibrand quest, but I feel I do need to keep moving the MSQ along. So that's where I am in my Hildibrand quest log. I've met Gigi. We've already transformed his body into like a Lalafell, where he was like a real boy, and then we buffed him up into his teen Gigi, and that was hilarious, just having that slow motion scene of Hildibrand and Gigi like running towards each other in the snow, only for Hildy to get destroyed. So yeah, I don't know what's next. I guess we're still trying to uncover the powers or the memories, or who the heck is Gigi. Also in Heaven's Ward, catch up. Alexander the raid. I don't really have that many opinions when it comes to raid, but I just gotta say I love the theme of this. It's all like steampunk, lots of mechs. Love the designs. There's even like a whole like Power Ranger scene of like all the mechs coming together into like a bigger mech, and when we destroy it, like they even turn and do like the Power Ranger pose and everything explodes. Freaking cool. The music's awesome, except for the freaking song that plays during Alexander Prime, which I believe is called Forward and Back. It's just the most obnoxious lyrics of forward and back, and you go forward and back, and then you're forward. And I'm like, okay, I get it. We're stuck in a time loop. The whole thing, like the whole raid, I don't want to elaborate on it here because I just don't do well with time travel, and it confused the heck out of me. So all I'm going to say is that the raid was cool. The bosses were cool. I had fun doing it. I crossed that stupid lake way too many times. I love that now my Alexander in my game is actually like standing up instead of like looking like he's drowning in the lake. I love that that's like a permanent, feature to the land, that it changes. Some of the bosses in there were quite notable for me. We had Pepsi Man in there, which was cool. We had the Cruise Chaser with just a really cool slick robot. And I think that's a mount that you can buy, because I've seen some other people riding it, so that looked good. Just a lot of like little cool things out of there. I would love to get that mount. I think there's a mount that drops from that raid, so I might go back and do that raid a few more times. And then my little side quest. So I started adventuring off stream in FF14, and I was like, oh, I wonder if there's a place like I love achievement hunting just for the fun of it. I've never been good at like 100%ing or anything, and I am not going to try to 100% FF14 to be clear. But I was like, oh, when I used to play World of Warcraft, it was so satisfying knocking out like achievements. Like they were just laid out in a way with a nice progress bar that was just really satisfying to complete. And I just don't get that from FF14. I was like, I wonder if there's a website I could look at that could give me that satisfaction. And lo and behold, there's two, in fact. There is LOL Achievements, or ff14collect.com. Both of them really give you a nice UI that says like, this is how many minions you've collected, like in a percentage. This is how many mounts, your achievements, everything. And it breaks it down. And like this is what I needed for my dopamine hit. And so I just decided one day, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start knocking off minions, because I just arbitrarily chose that. And so like the first one on the list was, oh, there's a vendor where I could buy a bunch of minions. So I did that. And then I like upped my minion percentage by 1 or 2%. And then the next one was, it was a minion I could get for 20,000 seals in the Grand Company market or something. And so I went there in the market, but I wasn't high enough of a promotion to like access that minion purchase. And so I went off on this complete side tangent where I'm like, okay, well, how do I get a promotion? Oh, I got to finish my hunting log for the Grand Company hunting log. So I went off and did the hunting log, but I couldn't find a bunch of monsters. And I was like, where are these monsters? Oh, they're in a dungeon. I got to go to this dungeon so I can finish my hunting log, so I can get my promotion, so I can get more hunting log, and kept leveling up and stuff. And finally got enough seals that I could buy my minion. And I just wanted to share that because this is the kind of stuff, like I love having a goal that leads me through all these other things that I wouldn't have otherwise done had I not been seeking that goal. And I just love these tangents. I love going off on tangents in the world of FF14. Like I was picking up so much random lore, discovering just new mechanics in the game, parts of the game I didn't even know. Like I have an adventurers guild or something now. I've got like this whole adventure of people that I can direct and do stuff with. I don't think I'll probably just forget about them just as easily as everyone else, but it's like nobody told me about that. I figured it out by myself. So I boom, felt special, like my special hat. So yeah, I don't know what's going to be next. I think there's like cards to collect. Like I love collecting things. So I'm just going to spend more time offline, just collecting stuff, whether they're achievements, mounts, minions. If there's anything that you think is fun to collect, I'd love to know what you think that is, and maybe I'll take a look, see if I can do it. So that's where I am in my journal. I'm going to be back after a few more streams, and I'll share an update on where I am in my Stormblood progress. And we're going to keep marching our way towards Omega and the Rathalos mount, which I understand is in this expansion. So I really look forward to that. So that's where I am. I'll see you on the next journal. And until next time, keep it classy.